Hi, David.
Hey, Carrie.
It's good to see you again,
Great
always.
to see you.
So, you know, last April, when we first encountered our situation with COVID, you put together a wonderful course for us online called Inner Alchemist. And some people watching this will have taken that. And now here we are already in June, and we're still in the unknown where we're going, even somewhat more so. And so we've now discussed going forward in order and offering a new course called Circles of Connection. So would you please let us know what this course is going to be about and what might be the difference between people that experienced Inner Alchemist and what could they expect from Circles of Connection? Thanks, David.
Great. So just to firstly say, I've been really taken aback by the feedback that we've received from some of the participants on the Inner Alchemist journey, and it kind of reaffirms the primary motivation for doing this work in this particular way at these times, where there's a safe container, where there's a committed group, where there's a limited number of people getting together every week, and there's resources that they can access and even meet up during the week to practice these resources. And it confirms something that I really felt was important at these times, that there was a place that people could meet and gather together, even though it's not so clear how quickly we can come out and socialize and be together in the rooms and dancing and even be together in community in particular ways. That it's really important to keep the river of community going. And I guess that's part of the circles of connection, is to really be um, mindful so that we don't get isolated in our own bubbles, that we stay connected with these communities where there's aliveness and connection with dance and connection with um, the question of how to resource ourselves during these times to really creatively respond individually and collectively. And one of the things I've seen in the feedback from the Inner Alchemist is how people really find it useful that there's these bite-sized chunks that they get every week, so that it's not an overwhelming amount of information and complex ideas, because movement medicine is quite nuanced and there's a lot of subtlety and a lot to learn in it, as well as the practice being really simple. There's quite a lot of background to it and a lot of lineages that inform movement medicine, such as neuroscience and gestalt therapy and more indigenous practices. So to have it in these bite-sized metronomic kind of week by week chunks, people found really useful and a really great way to learn the tools and to integrate them into their daily lives. And I think that's why we were talking about having the banner of these overall offerings called Bringing the Medicine Home, because the alchemical possibility of bringing the dance right into your own home feels like quite an exciting thing for me. I can already see it, and we've had 4 Inner Alchemist journeys, and they've all been full. And just the I guess the feedback has been pretty unanimous in terms of the potential of actually being a dancer in your own home, but at the same time being connected with others and being alongside others in the journey. It's quite a beautiful combination, actually. And I know there's been groups who meet during the week online and practice the practices, which has been very, very inspiring for me to see and heartwarming for me to see. And this circles of connection journey, which is, I guess, in one way, it's a follow on from the Inner Alchemist, and another way, it's a standalone 6 week journey. So I think it's a really beautiful way for people to continue the journey, and also an opportunity for people to access that journey of the 6 weeks and if they want to continue or not. And the circles of connection is really about the one of the primary, I guess, practices of movement medicine. It's number one about where we place our attention. So there's 5 levels of in the map of movement medicine to help us to discern where we're placing our attention. The first one is interoception, is that relationship with what's happening inside, so that we can receive the resource of the dancer inside us, and we can really be informed about what's actually going on inside. I know there's so much going on in lots of different ways in lots of different communities, and particularly in the States right now. And that practice of really tuning in to the inner resources and to um, fine tune your capacity to listen to what impact it's having on you and how you can bring the resource of dance to that. That's the first level of this practice. The second is what we call, so there's micro, medio, and that's the dancer you are. That's the physical body. That's proprioception. That's your capacity to bring whatever's moving inside you into relationship in the dance. And that's what we've been doing a lot in the Inner Alchemist, that relationship between the micro and the medio. And the macro is that relationship with other. So it's the relationship with here, you, Carrie, and me, and how I can stay in my own river of integrity, how I can stay connected to the inner listening, as well as in embodied presence and be in relationship with you. So we practice that quite a bit in the circles of connection. And it's a really useful practice for these times, particularly when a lot of our interactions are online at the moment. But these are, so it's good in that way, so we don't lose our inner wisdom, our indigenous wisdom of being in a body, of being in relationship with the dancer inside, and being in relationship with our own heart, our own body, and our own mind, and our own inner landscape, while being in relationship with another. So through that semi-permeable membrane of the circle that you're in, we work a lot with the circle to strengthen your capacity to be in your own circle, not to shut out, but to be more discerning about what comes in and how you communicate out of that circle. And the third level, so the macro is relationship with other. And then you have the meta, which is the wider picture, which is happening in more societal levels or more systemic levels, and how we're in relationship with the, first of all, the deeper wisdom of the dance that's happening in nature. So the mycelium network, you could imagine, or trees, how they speak to each other through the roots, or schools of dolphin, and that way that we're in relationship with the wider, deeper, intelligent dance of life. And also, so that as a resource to meet the wider systemic dance that we're in, maybe in our own societies, and how to, first of all, acknowledge the impact of what's actually happening, to be in the macro, be in a dyad and talk about that and dance with that. And then what's our place in that wider story? What is ours to do in that wider picture? So we work with that level of inquiry, more the that more community level. And the mystica then is that wider kind of unseen, and that which animates, say, a school of dolphin, that which animates the breath, that which animates any intelligent nature, that I am, that you are, that we are. So it's really good to hang out in that place of mysticate, so that we have a little breathing space with the wider, deeper picture of life, and that we don't get locked into any particular story, so that we can really widen the wings of our perspective, widen the horizon of our perspective, and actually connect in with that deeper dance of life, to be resourced, to resource ourselves to meet these times. And it's that bridge between that wider and the deep inner, because actually that mystica is deep inside also. So it's awakening that remembering or relationship with the mystery that there is dance happening inside all the time, so that we can go to the well of that place inside and resource and source inspiration and creativity and ground, so that we can really meet these times as presently as we can, and as resourced and as connected as we can to ourselves, to each other. We will have time to really um, share how we are in these times as well. That feels really important, that there's these circles of connection where we can be together and meet these times heart to heart and just share how it is for us. So we can resource ourselves in a dance, but also share how we're meeting these times and the very, very particular, I would say at these times, probably more acute challenges than we've had in a long time. So, how can we be together in these sacred circles of committed time together to really share how it is to be human in these times and how we can respond to these times?
Thanks for that, David. So, speaking of circles, um, I read in the course description that there'll be some sort of medicine wheel that will be creating a medicine wheel. Can you tell me more about that?
Yeah, it feels really, the brain operates. One of the ways that the brain communicates and operates most deeply is through image and through art and through image as story. So, and one of the strongest meetings with connection, with circles of connection that I've had in movement medicine was creating this kind of medicine wheel where we look at the map of movement medicine, say with the elements in the earth in the south, the water in the west, fire in the east, and the air in the north, and we really investigate, as well as some of the other places in the movement medicine map, and we really explore our own personal relationship with these places on the medicine wheel of movement medicine and make it our own. Really make it our own through dance inquiry, through connection with each other and that kind of inquiry, through the inquiry of image and shape, and through the inquiry of the imagination. So it could be particular animals that were connected to something that resources us in these various places on the medicine wheel. So the idea is that each person would, um, over time, clarify and fill in and really bring shape and color and meaning for their own medicine wheel, so that they come away with their own personal map as a resource and as a way of remembering and connecting and deepening relationship with these different circles of connection.
Wow, sounds wonderful. Um, I'm very excited for this course to start. I'm really grateful for you bringing another course along to us. And so let's see, this one starts July 12th, and it's open to 30 dancers for 6 weeks, 2 hour sessions. And the way to access this course is Movement Medicine USA Facebook page, and it'll also be available on Eventbrite. And for those of you who have danced with David before, would love to see you again on this journey. And for those people that are new, you can just drop right in. It'll be just as gentle and as deep as you can imagine. So thank you again, David.
Oh, you're so welcome. I'm very much looking forward to meeting this new circle. I've actually felt that I've really had a chance to meet the people in the other groups. So I really look forward to meeting and sharing this journey.
Great. Well, see you soon. Thanks, David. Bye bye.